Hi folks, I'm back with another little video lesson, and there comes Butterball again. This lesson goes into some more ideas on how to do some things in backup. Okay, one of those ideas is well, something that I think is you hear in Earl's breakdown on the second solo. You know, where he has that single string, long single string pattern. That's something like that. I may not be doing it note for note. I kind of just learned that one by ear. But I've heard J.D. Crowe and Bill Emerson do almost that entire pattern as backup, which to me is way too long and way too flashy if you're trying to do that on top of some other instrument taking a break. I think maybe I heard it over a fiddle break, which would be the place to put it in if you were going to, but they kind of adapted it and make it kind of resolved it back that way. You know, if you've got to really be able to think like a chess player, a checkers player, and think 2 or 3 moves ahead when you start that, because it's so long. You got to know how to land the plane at the end. So I'm not going to do that, but I am going to show you two variations on that. That's you can use over a C chord or over a D chord. That has that same kind of pattern to it. Walking pattern. So, for example, 9-pound hammer. I'm a 9-pound hammer. It's a little too heavy. So it's got that one measure of C right there. So instead of just rolling over the C, I'm going to try that little pattern here. So see what you think. So, like I said, instead of rolling, it's... So once again, it's something else that's adding that syncopation, that dun 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 dun, which really adds a lot of dynamics and makes your playing a lot more exciting than... So it's what I'm actually doing there, and there's a couple ways you can do it. It depends on how sparse you want to make that back up. But you can do whatever roll or transition lick you want to get to the C. So you land on that C note, which is the second string of the first fret. And then you pause and then you start alternating. I bounce back and forth with the 5th string. There you go, open, and then 2nd fret on the 3rd string. And I go open with the 3rd. And you can, however you want to get back to the G chord, you can do that. So that's if you want it pretty sparse, and you can kind of work that in on faster songs. Sounds pretty good because it's breaking up that that kind of monotonous da 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 da. You're putting in some syncopation. You can also, like if it's a little bit maybe a moderate tempo, you can actually get the 1st string in there as well. Let me actually do the whole fret. Fret the C chord. Down hammer. So it's more like a roll if you use the 1st string, but it still kind of sounds syncopated. So that's the first one in C. And then there's also a couple of walking ideas, easy little variations, I think, when you're going to the D chord. And one of them is that'll work over the whole measure of D instead of maybe this lick. You get tired of doing that lick, and you need the one measure filler. You've got some of the other syncopated rolls I was talking about earlier. You can do that, but this is a little bit different. So now I got to try to think of a song that might have that in it. I think we can follow along. So there it is, instead of you're going. So it's open 4th string, that big open, and then you're going the 2nd fret on the 4th string. This is all 4th string. So you're going open and 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret. And now you're going to the 3rd string, but you're on your 2nd fret. And then you can hammer on, pull off, something like that to the 4th fret. And the end of it is kind of like just your regular D lick. You know, like you're kind of doing that kind of scrolling idea in. So I really like that. I put that in recently. If it's a prolonged period of time, well, actually over the same measure, you can make it a little more herky-jerky if you want to and go. So however you want to do that, you can start mixing around with that kind of walking single string idea. Instead of a roll, instead of a lick, instead of a vamp, you can kind of add that in. So I'm always looking for extra things you can add in to vary your playing. One more just quick one, and that's if you only have a 2-beat D lick, or D measure there, D chord. Let me get that right. So if you only have 2 beats of D, like in 9-pound hammer or fireball male. So if you're going, you know, that's kind of the way you play the solo. But you're looking for something different when you're trying to do backup, maybe trying to stay away from the melody note specifically, or try to do something that doesn't sound exactly like the singer, exactly like the melody. So one thing you can do there is, instead of, you don't have time to do all that. So instead of doing the pause at the beginning, you can just go open, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret, and then end it. Let me show you. 9-pound hammer, it's a little too heavy for my size, for my size. You also hear that a lot if it's just banjo and fiddle playing. That's kind of how the banjo will stay in time with the fiddle. Let me try fireball male. So hopefully that'll give you some ideas there about how to use some little walking single string type patterns to mix into your backup. Thanks a lot.